titles. 5 members are present. Alderman Barnes is absent. First item on the agenda is the minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by aye. All opposed signify by no. Carried. Next item on the agenda are counts. No votes required on the counts. Any questions concerning the count?
On the page that we're talking about, item 70 about weight electric. I know that's just part of the payment for lighting on the state round 100. Are we still staying within budget on that?
Yes,
Our portion?
there has been no change orders issued on the project. There were some issues with the light fixtures themselves, when I set the poles right, we got that resolved, and if you've been down to 100, you realize they got most, if not all, they're working at 45, 100 today on the last set of poles. We're hoping they'll get them turned on by next week sometime. So, as far as I know, we're still on budget.
That was the only question I had.
Any other questions on the count? Next item on the agenda is item C, delegations. Is there anyone here who would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none. Next item is item D, discuss and consider repairs needed to the basement of City Hall as a result of the recent flooding. Jim?
I put a report in your packet out of D, just to give you a summary. On Wednesday, July 23rd, about probably 2 p.m., we got, according to Johnny, between 5 and 5.5 inches of rain in about 40 minutes. The storm drain system that is at the rear of City Hall cannot handle all the water flow. It catches water from all on Main Street, the back of these buildings here, and also all the way up to 2nd Street, up this valley, behind Bobby's house and Milton Sewell's house, all the way through 2nd Street. Well, there was just so much water fell all at the same time, that the actual drains behind City Hall, it was lifting, the water was lifting manhole lids off the storm drains. That's how much pressure was inside the pipes. But of course, it flooded the hallways and in the offices some, and we got Servpro down here right away to start doing the cleanup. The cleanup bill was $9,406.50. Then they gave me an estimate on the replacement and repairs. Now, their repairs only included, they had to rip up the baseboards, the rubber baseboards all downstairs to help dry out the sheetrock, because sheetrock will wick the water up into the walls, ruin the sheetrock, and have mold issues. So they pulled off all those rubber bases, ran dryers and humidifiers, trying to pull all the moisture out. And we got to it soon enough, so we didn't ruin any sheetrock. We do have stained carpet. We have some VCT tile coming up from some police break room. But anyway, to make a long story short, the repair estimate that will be covered by insurance is $5,666.64. So they'll pay for the cleanup and the repairs up to that point, with the exception of $1,000 deductible. But since we're tore up downstairs, we have the rubber base off, we felt like it might be a good time to go ahead and repaint the walls in the police department, fire department area downstairs. There's also a bathroom down there that was damaged several years ago by some chemicals that the previous janitor used on in the patrolman's bathroom, and the tiles were coming up and discolored and wrinkled. Those are VCT tiles. So the suggestion was that we go ahead and repaint most of the entire basement, all the hallways, the offices, pretty much the entire basement except for the storage area, and go ahead and replace the VCT tile in that bathroom. They are, under the insurance, will replace the VCT tile in the patrolman's break room downstairs, a little mechanical room there, and also a little bathroom in the fire room. We're going to cover with the insurance. So we're going to need, if we're wanting to do the extra work, we need more money. What that's going to be, we really don't know, because we haven't actually taken quotes on it. The repairs only included touch touch up some of the rooms, like the fire quarters, I believe, and maybe in the break room downstairs, but that was all.
If we sent this out, and got some quotes on it, we would probably need to split it, wouldn't you say, between somebody doing
Well, it's two
painting?
totally sort of different type jobs. You got your painting, which is one thing, and then you got your base and your VCT tile, and not everybody can do it. So, yeah, if one contractor does both, they're going to have to get a sub in here to do the other part. So, it may be wise just to look at it as two separate projects, and that way you can actually do them. Some vendors can do the painting, and they don't want to do anything else, so if that's what the board wants to do, we can go that route. Now, the Servpro will give us a quote on the entire work, which is where these numbers came from, for the insurance.
They can break it down between.
They can break it down, yes. And as part of this, they will also clean all the carpets in the offices downstairs. That's part of the repairs covered by insurance.
If I remember correctly, we put some extra money in the budget this year to help add some extra maintenance for this building.
We did add some money for maintenance because we were worried about the heating and air units. But we also got the roof project that's going to be coming on. It's going to be much more than the budgeted number ever would be. So, yes, there may be some there, but we're going to be over if you start in these other projects. Plus, I think I've got one air conditioning unit I'm going to have to replace on the unit on the roof right now. RTU3, which serves Mark and sort of Booth's office, Eric Carter's over there. It's caused us probably had major repairs done to it. And before we go in and do a brand new roof from City Hall, we're going to have changes. Better do it before they put the new roof on. Because you don't know, we'll need more people up there, especially with cranes, equipment, and everything else, moving units around that can function a brand new roof. In the budget right now is, we have $25,000 in the budget. For
Roof itself will run about 40, 50,000.
I think about $50,000 by itself.
I think we need to paint down there where we got it, what everything's stored up. I think we need to go ahead and paint it. That's my feelings. Because if you're gonna, if they've got the baseboard ripped up, and if you don't paint it now, they just touch it up and they do paint it, have to trim, it's gonna take them longer. At least this way they can roll it, trim the top and get them out of there. But we've got a paint job. I mean, that's my feelings. I know it's gonna cost us some more money, but I think you better do it now than do it later. That way, at least you got it done.
I've looked down there, of course, everything's still kind of torn up and stuff. It seemed like we need to go ahead and move forward and get some quotes and get that done. Our place back together downstairs.
You need a motion to that effect? I'll make a motion that we get quotes to paint the basement while we're doing the cleaning up.
I have a motion to get quotes on painting the basement. Do I have a second? I have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Does that include us going in and moving forward?
Yeah.
I would say as long as you got two quotes,
Minimum 2 quotes.
minimum two quotes coming in under the 10,000 for each part. Move forward.
And I'll leave my motion to say that. Because I'm sitting there looking for a reason. Legal bid.
I have the motion is amended. And do I have the person second, Ms.
Whichever one.
Second that amended motion. She seconds the amended motion. Any discussion on the motion? Being none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, signify by no. Motion carried.
One more item pertaining to the same thing. My last paragraph down there at the bottom of this report, we were looking out the back of City Hall, and I had, Barry Alexander was down here on street lighting, I had him sort of look at it one day. We got to looking, the water runs in the back doors of City Hall before it can get off the parking lot. We have that much water, either by coming out of the pipes or the pipes have to get stopped up or whatever the case may be. When we were looking at it, we think we have a way that we can actually design a concrete trough. Basically, we take out the Bradford pears that get very large down beside Stuart Rogers' office here at the back. And then make a concrete trough down through there and get it on grade where it would be an overflow. If the water built up deep enough at the back of the building before it went in the doors, it could flow out and down toward Washington Street, which is where it ends up anyway. It's just the pipes are not big enough to handle it. Have no idea what that would cost. We'd have to take a look at it with an engineer and shoot grades on it, make
as discussed in the budget meeting.
I handed you out a little short report, tonight. I believe during the budget meeting, we actually put $15,000 in the budget line item, that also is the computer line item for City Hall, to, move the major part of the server room from the first floor, back there close behind Sheila, between Sheila and the mayor's office. Move most of those servers to the basement. There will be some equipment left in that room because all the wiring for the entire building dead ends into that room, so we're going to leave the patch panel with the switches in there. So I can relocate them into a wall-mounted patch panel of some sort, and actually, and free up part of that little room in there. We're going to probably make a copy room, move a copier out of the hallway and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. The main reason we want to move the servers to the basement is for protection during bad weather. Not flooding may not be the case, but anyway, make a long story short, we roughly take one part of the storage area downstairs, make it a 12 by 16 office, elevating the floor approximately 6 inches, in case we do have flooding, and actually build a very simple server room. Put racks down there, backup generator power, etc., and actually move all the generators down. All the actual servers downstairs and put them in that room. We'll have to run a fiber line between that room back to the existing computer room for communications. And I just think, with y'all's approval, I think it's a wise move for us to do this. 12 years ago, servers could not be set off by themselves and just run alone. Now they've got them and you can monitor them from a distance. You don't have to see them every day like you used to. And that's the reason they ended up close to me before, is because where we can monitor and keep up with them. So, I think this is a wise move. If you want to appropriate the money, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. Now, this is not a firm bid. The framing of the room, I talked to 6 contractors. I had 6 contractors come by. I received 2 quotes. This is the lower of the 2 quotes, so it is a fixed price for the framing of the room. They did HVAC ductwork. My before you said, oh, it will be the $350, but I added just extra because I think we'll do a little more than what he was expecting to do. But it's just an estimate. The electrical work, the fact is, we got to wire through existing stuff back to the mechanical room and get it on the generator and test loads on the generator. I prefer to have somebody good, so I can sort of pick McEarl Electric to do the work. He said he would do it as an hourly basis, not to exceed $7,500. And then, of course, the fiber line is a firm quote from a company we deal with ECS to run that fiber line and terminate both ends of fiber. Of course, I would have paid for it normally out of the computer line item anyway, so if you have questions, I'll be more happy to answer. This doesn't have to be done tomorrow, but if y'all are willing, I'll go ahead and get started on getting the thing moving in the process.
If I remember right, Jim, we did appropriate this to the computer line.
Yes, yeah, we appropriated $15,000.
You'll have to-
Plus, I've got extra money for other computer things that cover any cost overruns.
The fact that we've got it, different people doing the parts, is okay keeping us under the 10,000.
Yes, yes.
I move that we let Jim go ahead with the relocation of the server to the basement.
Have a motion to go ahead with the project, the relocation project. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Is any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, signify by no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is discuss, consider taking bids on the 10 patrol cars for the police department. These, both cars were in our budget this year. Tom?
Y'all know I usually try to put that on. The last 3 weeks, I've had 2 transmissions go out, and I replaced both of them, and I just told them what from the steering wheel. I've got transmissions on that again, so I need to go ahead and start that again.
These would be the black and whites. I feel like we need to do about 2 every year anyway.
I do 3.
Two's all, 2's enough. I make a motion that we go. I'm sorry.
I said, just West go down.
Need a motion?
Well, bids for the bid.
I make a motion, we, get the chief authority to accept bids for 2 patrol cars.
Have a motion to go out on bids for the 2 patrol cars. Do I have a second? second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye. All opposed, signify by no. Motion carried. Next item is discuss and consider purchase of 3 4-ton pickup truck for the Public Works Department through state contract price.
This is a truck that we usually use to haul our culverts and our pipes on. Right now, we have a Dodge truck, and it's about wore out, and I just like that. I have a bid here to go through the state contract, and I'd like to ask the board to accept the bids on 2015 model.
This was also in the budget, the budget.
He had money's budget for that, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. I move we go ahead with the purchase of the bid for the, street superintendent.
Motion to go ahead, go up for bid on the, we're just gonna purchase on.
Purchase on state contract.
Purchase on
Go ahead,
state contract.
yeah.
We'll purchase on state contract, do we have a second? Second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 8, consider the date and time for board meeting training for new and existing board members. Training would be facilitated by MTAS, the Municipal Technical Advisory Service. Jim?
Being that we have 2 new board members coming on first of the month, I thought it'd be a good time for everybody to sit down with MTask and get some training to basically have somebody from outside come in and tell you what the board can and cannot do. They have a short program. They said anywhere between an hour and 2 hours, depending on how many questions and how much detail you will get into. But he said he'll be here all night if you want to. So he's coming down on the 28th at 6 o'clock. Mayor, did you say we may feed the board while they're here?
We'll subway you.
Yeah, so this will be a training session. It won't really be to discuss city business. It'll be to discuss the city charter and the city codes and, and basically what the board can do. Now, this is a precursor to some further training that MTAS puts on every so often called the Elected Officials Academy. Some of y'all have been through that. Some of you have been through part of it. Keith, I think you've been through level 1. Johnny and Michael, you've been through it all. Robbie, you've been through it all. But that is, level 1's like starts on Friday, say at 4 o'clock, and they go Friday night till 9 o'clock, and then Saturday all day. And that's level 1, they'll do level 2. And they break it down based on service. In other words, they'll have somebody come in and talk about the police department. They'll have somebody come in and talk about the fire department. And they actually have their consultants for those individual services come in and talk to you and answer questions and explain things about that. So, but this is just a preliminary, get your feet wet, with your board members. I think the visiting board would be good to be there to help put in some input. When David Anger is his name, when he gets done, we can sit around and talk more. We can come back and meet another night if y'all want to, talk about more things. It's up to the board, however much y'all want to do. So we're gonna start on the 28th, 6 o'clock. I want everybody to be here if you can be.
Will that be here?
It'll be in the classroom here, yes, okay, over here.
Okay. Any other business, swearing in? Right now, we're shooting 11 o'clock on the 29th.
Friday the
I
29th.
think the county's gonna do theirs at 9 o'clock, we're gonna do ours at 11 o'clock, Judge Patterson will do that. I'm asking, especially the 3 that's getting sworn in, would you please, well, 2 of you, please wear a suit. The reason why is, need to upgrade, update our website, and we need to get pictures of y'all in. We're gonna take individual pictures, and we'll get with the rest of y'all and try to make arrangements to get y'all get your picture made too, so we can update the website.
And so what time is that, on the 29th, you said?
The 29th at 11 a.m. Like I said, if you come with a suit and tie, we'll have everybody come with a suit and tie, or jacket and tie, we'll get them done. If you wanna come and congratulate them and get your picture made too, you're more welcome. We'll do them all done at the same time, if everybody shows up.
Voice Friday.
Friday morning, 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. really ought to be, I mean, just suggestion, we ought to be doing our budget in July to what we're gonna do in spring.
Yeah.
If we closed our budget out in July, then we all of a sudden we're hustling trying to lay gas line in August. It seems like we did what we need to do is when we do our budget in July,
Yeah.
is what we're gonna do starting in spring. That way it gives us the winter and the fall to order the pipe and do things we need to do. We're not sitting here, because right now, we're already in August, and I don't want to get back in the problem we had a couple, year last year, so.
Yeah.
Where we're sitting here right before December, the cold season started, we're still out here trying to get these services in. And I just wonder if we're not better trying when we do our budgets in July, just with the intention of starting the spring on that same budget year, that'd be our time we start doing the services. Not services, but start laying the line.
Yeah.
I'm not a gas person or anything about utilities, except what I've learned being a board member, reading and studying. But I think if we try to have all of our pipe here in December, January, for everything we're gonna do that next spring and summer.
Yeah.
Be ready to go, have it all ordered, ready to go, everything laid out, planned out.
Mhm.
But I know it depends on people's requests, of where you're gonna run
Yeah,
service.
we had some lines, a couple of very short runs where we went back in and talked to some people and we found that some people weren't as interested in what they initially.
That happens, yeah.
Okay, but we went back and we found other areas, like for example, Pegasus Loop. We had made a request and we had one party go out, and it's not where they signed like a little petition. I mean, these are signed, sealed.
They're ready to go.
Gas
They're ready to have it
applications.
installed.
They're ready to go. Okay, and so we've got basically 32 customers, and if we press it just a little bit more, we'll pick up another 7. So that's close to 40.
You gonna be out there tomorrow, aren't you?
What's that?
You gonna be
Well,
out there
I got 7 buildings free that are out of gas.
Okay.
I've got kids coming in.
You gotta fix that first.
I think they would like that done first.
They're big customers anyway, they're gonna use it.
Yeah.
Where are you going after you get through with Big Investment?
We have an issue out towards Sweet Lips. David and I have been talking about Lexington coming into that area. You know, they keep vacillating back and forth, and we kind of need to, for lack of a better word, kind of put our foot stamp, down in that area so they don't encroach.
You gotta mark your territory.
Yeah, and so we've got a nice dense project running out towards that store. You know, it's well within our budget. It's going to cost about $9,700, $10,000 very most. We'll be able to extend out there and get a good number of
How
customers.
many people you gonna pick up out there?
Well, we did a survey, and I haven't gotten back the numbers from the customers yet. I'm asking the meter readers to pick those up for us, and they're trying to go door to door, but I'm expecting it will be better than the 1 per 500 foot that we typically like to look for. Okay, so we should get a good pot. But it's like out in the county, you run into these pockets. You get house, then you've got to kind of go down the road, a blank area, and you get a lot of houses in the blank area. So you kind of have to say, well, those houses are 50 feet apart. So, but it meets that 1 in 400, 1 in 500 range. Most definitely. So it's a good project. It's a very good project, and it does establish our boundary for Lexington.
So how far, for 10,000, about how far you gonna run?
We're gonna go out to the store.
Just over to the door?
Yeah, we're gonna go down to the store. So we're basically just trying to cut the head off, of Lexington from encroaching in our territory because.
Well, it's really truly, it's not encroaching on our territory, but we're just as bad, we can go out as a county too.
Well,
We're in
I'll never
Madison, we're
admit
in
to that.
Madison and
I'll
McGarry
never-
ourselves, so.
I'll never admit
It's
to
really
that.
not truly encroaching, it's just who gets there first.
We just wanna mark the spot.
I'll never admit to that, but in this particular case, we're stomping on our territory.
Chief,
They're repairing the roof as we speak, and it should be ready maybe first of next week. They're doing a really good job on
can you fill us in on, vision of the ISO?
We met with, state or federal, but I don't even know who it works for, but ISO comes down and rates our fire department. It took probably 6 weeks of trying to get everything together, and with Mark and Brent's help, and,
should stay the same, we hope we'll get improved.
I'm telling you, we surpassed everything he asked. I don't know how they're gonna rate it, but everything he asked, we were above what he was rated.
Jim, you have anything? Jerry?
Nothing.
Chief?
Most of y'all know from the other, I lost, Huawei. I think, last day. So we're taking applications for a new employee. Our start pay has been $13.75 for several years. I'd like to put it at $14 an hour. We've got a web application so far. I was kind of, I think it's like 20. You know, where they're like, start pay $14 an hour for a new employee. That's somebody that got any experience. It's a different pay scale. So it's
They were certified in the dollar.
They were certified officers working, so they had 5 years experience. And they would get authorized to, what my employees have. But if they just have, like, if they just graduated the academy, a lot of, I don't say a lot, but some people do, they'll graduate from the academy today, this department, later, they'll go work with this department. We have a lot of turnover in all departments, they all work, they work. Retention is what I really love to see.
You losing yours to the sheriff's office again?
No, I'm afraid this one, I can't keep again. I think it's okay for me back.
Now, we gotta do something about retention, I don't know what to do, I'm probably not trying to discuss it now, but have you thought about any idea that you can bring to us at one of the business meetings,
Well,
what we can do
I
to
talked to a lot of chiefs, you know, I go to all the chief meetings. And the city of Henderson pays a good salary compared to the cities around. More than most. Their insurance, everybody's up for the insurance, you see what people would do. The job today is not like it was when I started. I couldn't wait to get to work when I started. And I didn't want to go home when I got here. But the clientele today is different. People are different. They're younger, they're more family oriented. Most of them are. They put down with family. You work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You know, you're not, many Christmases you won't be able to do. It's a tough job to keep people motivated and keep them working. Believe it or not, when one of y'all say something on the board, talk about the place, I want a good job for doing it or whatever, it's a feather in your head because they appreciate it. Everybody likes to, every department likes to hear their good job. As far as retention, I wish I had a hand right there. I don't.
The deal is, you know, there's a lot of competition for the officers, especially once they get through training. And if they're good officers, it's competitive workforce, and they got,
If you get, you know, you get somebody that wants to live in Cherokee County and stay in Cherokee County, that's a plus. You know, I can't hire anybody, I can hire them outside, you gotta move them. So if I get a real good applicant that lives in Madison County, and not willing to move, he's not gonna move. And I can't blame him. And I can't blame the city for having that policy, because I think, basically, I think you
14, and they was top out in 2 years. Patrolman's pay. Is it 3?
Is it two?
Top of the year.
I thought it was three.
Top out in 2.
But, I'm gonna make the motion, to raise it to 14, and hire a new guy at 14, follow his recommendations as far as right now. Trying to get a second.
Have a motion to start pay the police officer $14 an hour. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye. All opposed, signify by no.
And then after saying that, I think sometimes we as a board need to probably sit down with the chief and look at things, what other police forces do in small towns, and if they're doing anything, if we glean anything from what they're doing, or what's going on as far as retention, and see what we can do.
I can tell you what a lot of them are doing, they're doing it. Where we don't have to pay that down.
Yeah, that's it, that's the difference, you've got, once you get an officer, you've got several $1,000s in that guy that's in the school, plus working with another officer when he's not really out patrolling. You've sunk probably, I hate to guess, we probably got $15,000, $20,000 in the guy time you get him trained. And you know, when you lose that, you lost 20 grand automatically right there on top. So we need to do something to try to stem that blood from flowing, you know?
I'm just gonna give you some food for thought. I've talked to the director of the training camp. Chief we all. And he's pretty much doing with my, I feel sorry. And so I'm expecting the rates on the academy to start climbing drastically in the next 4 or 5 years. When we're seeing somebody down to $2,500 a class, it's not gonna surprise me in 5 years if they $5,000.
Catch is, they're on salary while they're up there, then you got the right time for them to patrol by themselves, so we have a plan.
I had a chief tell me, I'm just kind of bugging my gun with that, but I had a chief tell me, a year and a half ago, he said 3 people in the camp. Hired 3 people. And one of them, he didn't really want to hire, he was kind of messed out of what he had left, so he said 3 people in the camp. The day they graduated, 2 of them invested quick.
Jump ship already, huh?
And work a day for it.
Isn't that something?
You know, one thing that, go back to what Chief said, generation has changed, not only for the police department, but just everywhere, factory life, you name it. The commitment and stuff that people used to have, it's not there like it used to be, but if they have an opportunity to go and do something else, they don't take that opportunity. And, you know, Chester County and Henderson is a wonderful place to live, wonderful place to live, and you can hire within, but once they get that experience, an opportunity come along, real nice. I hate to say that, but there's more to just the police department. It's what can we do as a city as a whole to make people want to stay. Because it goes beyond the police department.
We need to seriously take a look anyway, that's, we want to keep us all night, but that's just something we'll touch on.
Michael?
Just real quick, the house that we purchased over by the fire department, how close are we are getting it demolished?
The contractor is currently working it pretty hard. He's trying to get them, ready for school to get back, trying to get their drives and parking lots. But he told me last week that he would have that down soon.
One question while we're on the subject, the gentleman owns the house right next to it, becoming a very eyesore, weeds up about head high. We need to contact that gentleman and, see what we can get him to do about cleaning up his thing. I hate to say too much, because ours is still standing over there, but I think we need to get hold of him, he needs to clean his up too, I think he bought that on a tax sale or something, or,
Yes.
I don't know, but he is up, I know the grass is up head high behind that chain link fence.
Couple of things.
Let's get it down for a couple years.
That's all.
I know this is Tommy King's last night, but this
Bobby is not here, but you got to take Bobby had served since what, 84, 85, when he come on the police department?
84 when he came on full-time.
Came on a police officer, worked here until 97, and then stayed off a year, then got elected in 98, and served as the city alderman here, so he had served a lot, and I sent him an email yesterday, told him that he'd be proud of a lot of positive things happening in the city during his watch, and while he was on the board, serving with the people up on this board, so he did a fine job, and I'm sending him an email thanking him. Tommy, I'm gonna skip you right now, and let you have the last word.
Okay.
So we got anything?
Everything's okay.
Everything's fine?
Everything's fine.
Ms. Tommy, you can close this out.
Okay, I'll just make it short. I'd like to thank the board for appointing me last year to be a part of this board for this past year. And it's been an honor and a privilege and a very enjoyable experience. Everyone has been extremely nice and helpful throughout the year when I had questions about anything. And I have to say, I'm going to miss coming to the meetings. It just seems like that just a few weeks ago that I was here getting sworn in. And it's been an experience that I'll never forget. And I'm glad that I've been able to be a part of some things that we've accomplished this year. And I'd like to wish Ms. Donna Butler and Mr. Mark Barber all the best in that coming tenure for this position. Thank you.
Anything saying that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.